The day began like any other in Brisbane. Hannah Clarke secured her 3 children in the car for the routine school drop-off, but within moments, everything took a horrific turn.
Percent of her body, but Hannah Clarke still managed to tell police what happened when her estranged husband ambushed her on the morning school run. Senior Constable Angus Skanes took her statement, saying Rowan Baxter jumped into Hannah's car and said, "I want to see my children." Hannah told him to get out.
Hannah was incredibly courageous at the scene, given the level of her injuries, and it certainly affected everyone who attended the scene.
Hannah Clarke and her 3 children were killed in Camp Hill in February 2020. Her estranged husband setting the family alight in their car in what first responders have described as a chaotic scene at the inquest into the family's deaths. Paramedic Stephanie Ring was the first to arrive. She told the inquest, Hannah said, "My babies are in the car, my children are in the car. Why didn't I just stay in the car with them?"
I'm aware that every one of the people who attended the scene attempted to reassure Hannah at her time of need.
Hannah's story has already brought change. Queensland Police are now required to complete an online course teaching them how to respond to coercive control incidents. That's in addition to annual domestic violence training. So far, around 4,500 officers have completed it. Ebony Cavallaro, 9 News.
A man washing his vehicle heard her terrified screams. A driver passing by saw her engulfed in flames as she tried to flee. A neighbor hurried over with a fire extinguisher only to witness the car erupt in an explosion. What was unfolding? Why was Hannah crying out for her children? And who was the man beside her clutching jerry cans of fuel? This was no accident. In this true crime documentary video, we uncover the shocking story of Hannah Clarke, a devoted mother, a gymnastics coach, a woman who tried desperately to escape a controlling, violent relationship, and the 3 innocent children who died because of one man's rage. A man who could not accept that she had left him. A man who decided that if he could not have them, no one could. This case shocked Australia to its core. It exposed the deadly reality of coercive control, and it changed the way the country views domestic violence. If you want to hear more shocking true crime stories like this, hit that subscribe button right now. New cases every week. Don't miss what happens next. Press the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into the darkest criminal minds. Tap the thumbs up and drop a comment below. I put a lot of work into bringing you real true crime cases from around the world. Only verified stories here. Your support helps this channel grow, and I truly appreciate every bit of interaction. Hannah Clarke was born on September 8, 1988 in Brisbane, Australia. Her parents were Sue and Lloyd, devoted parents who loved their daughter deeply. From the start, Hannah was known for her bright, outgoing nature and boundless energy. She had an effortless way of lifting people's spirits. She could walk into a room and make everyone smile. Even as a child, she dreamed of becoming a mother. She loved taking care of others. She was deeply connected to her younger brother, often stepping into a protective, caring role as the older sibling. She was the kind of sister who would defend him, stand up for him, make sure he was okay. Gifted in athletics, Hannah became a standout in trampoline gymnastics. She was incredibly talented. By the age of 16, she was representing her state, competing at high levels, winning medals. Her strong leadership became evident in her final year of school when she was selected as school captain. This is a big honor, a role reserved for students admired and respected by their peers. Teachers voted for her. Students looked up to her. She was someone people trusted. After finishing school, she followed her passion for helping young people. She started teaching children's gymnastics at the Police Citizens Youth Club. This is a community organization that provides programs for young people, sports, activities, a safe place to learn and grow. Hannah loved working with children. She was patient, encouraging, kind. She met Rowan Baxter while working there. She was 20 years old. He was 31, a meeting that would ultimately alter the course of her life. Rowan was born on May 9, 1977 in New Zealand. He had grown up amid turmoil and uncertainty. His father's imprisonment during his early years left a lasting mark on his childhood. His father was in prison. His family was unstable. He did not have a normal, happy childhood. Family members remembered Rowan as a volatile child with a disturbing streak of cruelty. Volatile means unpredictable, quick to anger, hard to control, One cousin even admitted to being afraid of him, afraid of a family member. That tells you something is very wrong. The cousin linked his behavior to a deeply ingrained family history of misogyny. Misogyny means hatred of women, a belief that women are inferior. This attitude ran through his family. Despite his troubled beginnings, Rowan pursued athletics. He played rugby for Tauranga Boys College. Then he earned a contract with the New Zealand Warriors Rugby League team in 2005. This sounds impressive, but the reality was different. Although he was technically part of the team, he never appeared in an official match. He never played a single game. He earned only a modest $10,000 yearly contract. That is not much money. Even so, he often introduced himself as a former professional rugby player. He used the title to elevate his reputation in both personal and work environments. He lied to make himself sound more important. Those who knew Rowan described him as extremely competitive, controlling, and quick to anger. He had to win at everything. He had to be in control of everything. He could not accept losing. He had an overpowering need to assert dominance over others and could not tolerate rejection. If someone said no to him, he became angry. Before crossing paths with Hannah, Rowan had already been married and had a son from that relationship. This is important. This shows a pattern. He married at 18 while his wife was only 16. She was a child, still in school. By the time their son reached the age of 2, Rowan's controlling behavior had become intolerable. His wife wanted to leave, but he refused to allow her to walk away. He turned to stalking and intimidation, following her, threatening her, making her afraid. In one disturbing incident, he told her he had placed a hose pipe in his car, connected it to the exhaust, and had considered a dark fate for himself and their child. He was threatening murder-suicide, using their son as a weapon to control her. Feeling cornered and unsafe, she remained with him despite her fear. She stayed because she was terrified of what he might do. In 2008, while Hannah was coaching gymnastics, Rowan's son took part in one of her classes. That moment marked Hannah and Rowan's first meeting. Even though he was still married at the time, still living with his wife, he began pursuing Hannah. He told her his marriage was already finished, that he was only living with his wife for their son's well-being. He made himself sound like a victim, like he was trapped in an unhappy marriage. Just a few months into their affair, Rowan formally ended his marriage. He moved out and agreed to co-parent. Yet his aggressive behavior didn't fade. He continued to intimidate his ex-wife whenever conflicts over parenting arose. If she disagreed with him about their son, he would threaten her, bully her, make her afraid. Around 6 months into his relationship with Hannah, she discovered she was pregnant. Although she wanted to keep the baby, Rowan pressured her to terminate the pregnancy. He told her she was too young, that she could not handle it, that they were not ready. He tried to force her to have an abortion. In October 2012, Hannah and Rowan married. At the time, she was 14 weeks pregnant with their first child. She married him even though she was already seeing warning signs. Soon after the wedding, Rowan stopped paying child support for the son from his previous marriage. He abandoned his financial responsibility to his first child. On April 10, 2013, their daughter Aaliyah was born. She grew into a bright, expressive child who loved reading and had a strong sense of right and wrong. Even at a young age, she noticed how her father treated her mother. Children see everything. They understand more than we think. And Aaliyah was not afraid to challenge him. She stood up to him. She defended her mother. In January 2015, with their shared passion for fitness, the couple opened a gym they named Integrate Gym. Though Hannah's parents and another investor helped fund the gym, the business ultimately struggled to stay afloat. They were losing money. During this period, their second daughter, Liana, was born on March 19, 2015. She had a gentle, calming presence and often played the role of mediator in the household. Strongly resembling Hannah, she would try to soothe her father whenever he lashed out in anger. This little girl tried to calm her father down, to keep the peace, to make everything okay. Their third and youngest child, Trey, arrived on December 4, 2016. Trey was deeply attached to his mother. He loved to run and play, but was most content when close to her. He was a mama's boy, always wanting to be near her. As the years went on, Rowan's behavior grew even more controlling and hostile. His possessiveness over Hannah only intensified. He further curtailed her independence by insisting they share a joint Facebook account. He refused to let her have one of her own. He wanted to monitor everything she posted, everyone she talked to. Gradually, he cut her off from her previously close family. She had been close to her parents, her brother, but Rowan severely limited her contact with them. He isolated her, made her dependent on him alone. His need for control extended to the children as well. If they didn't tidy up quickly enough, he would throw their toys away, not put them away, not donate them. He would throw them in the trash to punish them. He canceled activities they looked forward to as a way to punish Hannah. The children were excited about something. A trip, a party, and he would cancel it to hurt Hannah. Once after an argument, Rowan left the house with the children. Hannah called her mother to talk, to get comfort, to share what was happening. But later, Rowan confronted her and repeated the entire conversation back to her, word for word. When she asked how he knew, he told a co-worker he had accidentally left his phone recording. But it was not an accident. He was spying on her, recording her conversations. The co-worker expressed concern, pointing out that secretly recording Hannah was wrong. But Rowan brushed it off. He did not care. He also exerted control over their intimate life. He demanded daily compliance, every single day, and if she refused, he would provoke arguments that made her life unbearable. He would make her life hell until she gave in. In one especially frightening incident, he smashed her watch in a violent outburst before storming out of the house. Terrified that he might harm himself, Hannah called her mother in a panic. She was afraid he would hurt himself and blame her. Fearing the worst, her parents drove around Brisbane searching for him. When Rowan eventually returned, he claimed he had gone to a church parking lot and had come close to ending his own life. He used suicide threats to control her, to manipulate her, to make her feel responsible for his emotions. By November 2019, Hannah had reached her limit. She could not take it anymore. Desperate to get away, she reached out to a family violence resource center. These are organizations that help victims of domestic abuse, sharing her fears and her uncertainty about how to leave safely. She was convinced that Rowan was watching her every move, tracking her, monitoring her. With their help, she formed an escape plan. They helped her figure out how to leave without him knowing. In December 2019, she put it into action. Taking only what she absolutely needed, Hannah picked up Aliyah from school and went directly to her best friend's home. She did not go home. She did not pack bags. She just left. She left her phone in the car, believing Rowan was tracking her movements. The following day, she moved into her parents' home. She was safe now, or so she thought. On December 4th, Rowan contacted Relationships Australia. This is an organization that supports families in crisis. They offered him a counseling session for December 10th, but he never confirmed or showed up. He did not really want help. 10 days later, on December 14th, he went to his doctor and revealed that Hannah had left him and taken the children. He admitted he struggled with control, and he broke down crying as he expressed regret for his behavior. He was performing, trying to make himself look like the victim. He returned on December 16th for a mental health appointment and was prescribed temazepam. This is a medication commonly used for sleep problems. Meanwhile, on December 6th, Hannah pursued legal protection. She went to the police where she was advised to apply for a domestic violence order against Rowan, but she hesitated. She was afraid, fearing that taking legal action might provoke him further. This is a common fear. Many victims worry that getting a restraining order will make their abuser more violent. Despite her worries, Hannah kept communicating with Rowan. She was hoping he would stay involved with the children. She wanted her kids to have a father. He continued to manipulate her, urging her to think of the kids, suggesting she was damaging them by leaving, making her feel guilty. He also began telling her parents that she was mentally unstable, that she was crazy, claiming he had done nothing wrong. This is called gaslighting, making someone doubt their own reality. This turned into an exhausting cycle. Rowan would promise to bring the children back, then change his mind at the last moment, sending Hannah into a state of panic. She would make plans to pick up the kids, and then he would not show up, or he would refuse to return them. His harassment escalated, mirroring the behavior he had shown in his previous marriage. He was doing the same things to Hannah that he had done to his first wife. He began appearing without warning, letting himself into her parents' home and stalking her, following her, showing up wherever she went. On December 26, 2019, he was supposed to return the children after having them for the day. This was the day after Christmas. When Hannah arrived to collect the children, he hurled Leanna into the front seat of his car and sped away. He threw a 4-year-old child into the car. A concerned bystander who witnessed the scene flagged down a nearby police car. Officers spoke with Hannah, but without formal custody orders, they had no legal authority to intervene. The law protected Rowan, Not Hannah, not the children. They tried contacting Rowan and even went to his home, but he was nowhere to be found. Later that night, he FaceTimed Hannah and issued a demand. He claimed he would not return Leanna unless she ended a supposed affair. He was accusing her of cheating, using their daughter as a hostage. Exhausted and overwhelmed, Hannah reached out to her lawyer, who prepared a formal letter insisting on Leanna's return. As police grew more alarmed by Rowan's behavior, they decided to proceed with a domestic violence order on Hannah's behalf, even if she was not yet ready to file one herself. Officers eventually found Rowan at his home just as he was putting Leanna into his car. They informed him about the court order, which barred him from coming within 300 feet of Hannah or the children until a hearing could decide permanent custody. Police then took Leanna into their care and brought her back to Hannah. Rowan was forbidden from contacting any of them until January 4th, 2020, when they were all scheduled to appear in court. During a welfare check, officers noticed that Leanna seemed frightened. Since the abduction, she had developed intense separation anxiety. She refused to let her mother out of her sight, a 4-year-old child traumatized by her own father. Authorities advised Hannah to take the children to child-aware psychology for support, though they never ended up going as part of the police process. Hannah submitted a detailed statement outlining the abuse she had suffered. She explained that Rowan pressured her into having sex with him every night while verbally degrading her. He would insult her, calling her disgusting, comparing being intimate with her to, in his words, having sex with a bucket. Hannah also revealed that she had long feared for her life and her children's safety. Rowan had described in disturbing detail a plan to kill his ex-wife, their son, and himself. He had told her this, described exactly how he would do it. This left Hannah terrified that he might attempt something similar with her and the children. She knew he was capable of it. More evidence of Rowan's troubling behavior appeared on social media. In several videos he posted, he played dangerously rough with the kids, at times crossing into outright violence. In one especially disturbing clip, he forced them into an ice bath while little Trey cried uncontrollably. The child was screaming, crying, and Rowan kept him in the freezing water. Despite all of this, Rowan continued twisting the story to suit himself. Even as Hannah submitted her statement, he contacted the police, insisting that he was the one who felt threatened by her. He claimed she was the abuser. On December 29, 2019, Rowan attended his first counseling session as part of what he portrayed as mental health treatment. According to session notes, he admitted to issues with jealousy. He acknowledged that Hannah had left because of his controlling behavior, yet no thorough family violence risk assessment was done. No one evaluated how dangerous he was. The session focused mostly on simple coping strategies like breathing exercises, failing to address the seriousness of his actions. His mental health evaluation suggested moderate depression and anxiety, and he denied having any intention of harming himself or anyone else. He lied. On December 31st, he returned for another session, where he mentioned that a protection order had been placed against him. He claimed Hannah had invented everything, made it all up, and said he was heartbroken over being kept from his children. He painted himself as the victim. Notes from the session show that he and the counselor talked about the emotional toll of being separated from his kids. Yet once again, no formal risk assessment was carried out. Rowan continued with counseling, returning on January 6th. That day, he complained that their gym had closed, the business had failed, and he blamed Hannah for discussing their private matters, which he believed had damaged his reputation. People knew what he had done, and they did not want to support his business. He said he wanted joint custody of the children despite the growing concerns. Still, no risk assessment was performed, and the session focused only on helping him cope by trying new activities. No one was protecting Hannah and the children. On January 8th, their case went before the court. Rowan contested the domestic violence order. He fought against it, but the decision ultimately went in Hannah's favor. The court ruled that he was forbidden from committing any form of family violence, exposing the children to harm, approaching within 300 feet of Hannah's home, or contacting her for any reason unrelated to the children. Ignoring the setback, Rowan sought legal guidance from a men's legal service on January 17th. He claimed he feared Hannah and believed she intended to take the children and vanish, cutting him out of their lives entirely. He was building a narrative. Meanwhile, his behavior grew even more disturbing. He began showing up at the same cafes and stores as Hannah, encounters that happened far too often to be coincidences. She would go to get coffee, and he would be there. She would go shopping, and he would appear. She grew increasingly convinced he had placed a tracking device on her car. Rowan's monitoring of her intensified after he attended another counseling session on January 21st, during which he insisted he was being unfairly portrayed as mentally unstable to limit his access to the children. Determined to overturn the domestic violence order, his lawyer submitted a letter to the court, arguing that Hannah had only sought it to regain custody of Liana. On January 23rd, the court issued its final custody ruling, granting Hannah full custody while giving Rowan alternating weekends with the children. Every other week, they were to stay with him from Thursday to Friday, with shared holidays and scheduled FaceTime calls. All exchanges were required to take place at Hannah's parents' home. Despite the formal arrangements, the children were clearly distressed by the situation. They often expressed hesitation about seeing their father, especially Aliyah. She did not want to go. During one overnight stay, Aliyah called Hannah crying, saying they were driving somewhere, but she didn't know where they were being taken. She was scared. On January 31st, Rowan returned Trey later than the agreed-upon time. When Hannah unbuckled her son from the car, she noticed explicit photos of herself left deliberately in view, naked photos, left where she would see them. Shaken, she grabbed the photos and turned to head inside, but Rowan abruptly stepped out of the car and twisted her wrist behind her back. He physically assaulted her. Alarmed, Hannah's mother immediately called the police. Rowan denied everything and tried to file a domestic violence order against Hannah in retaliation. A doctor later confirmed that Hannah had a sprained wrist and fitted her with a splint. She reported both the assault and the breach of the domestic violence order to police, but when officers attempted to question Rowan, he refused to speak without a lawyer. Meanwhile, Rowan's life was falling apart. He lost his job as a personal trainer. No one wanted to work with him, and Hannah's lawyers notified his legal team that because of the latest incident, she would no longer be following the parenting agreement, meaning Rowan would no longer have access to the children. He would not see them anymore. Enraged, he became consumed by anger. He saw himself as the injured party, and his refusal to acknowledge his own actions only deepened his resentment toward Hannah. In his mind, she had destroyed his life. Despite violating the domestic violence order, police did not detain him immediately, instead issuing a notice to appear in court. He was free, walking around, still dangerous. He was also charged with common assault for causing Hannah's wrist injury, but he was not arrested. On February 17th, Rowan went to a hardware store and bought zip ties, a jerry can, and denatured alcohol. The following day, he filled the jerry can with 5 liters of gasoline. While making these purchases, he also picked up 3 Kinder Surprise eggs and some lollipops for the children. At 3:28 p.m. on February 18th, he contacted Youth and Family Services to ask about a men's support program. 30 minutes later, he called a men's helpline with the same inquiry. He was creating a paper trail, making it look like he was seeking help. That evening at 6:25 p.m., he phoned a friend in tears, saying he was unable to see his children. After a long moment of silence during the scheduled FaceTime call, he didn't speak at all, only sat there crying. The children could see him on the screen, crying. Sensing something terribly wrong, Hannah felt a chilling certainty that danger was close. She confided in her mother, saying she needed to write a will, because if Rowan killed her, he would end up in prison, and someone would have to raise the children. She knew. She told a friend at the gym that she believed Rowan was going to harm the kids, or worse. Her deepest fears were about to come true. On the morning of February 19th, 2020, Hannah and her mother followed their usual routine and went to the gym. Afterward, Hannah arrived home at 6:20 a.m., then stepped back out to pick up coffee for herself and her mother. She later sat on her mother's bed, sipping her drink while her mom got ready for work. The children stayed close by. At 7:20 a.m., Sue kissed Hannah and the kids goodbye, not knowing it would be the final time she ever saw them alive. Hannah buckled her 3 children into the car to take Aliyah and Liana to school. Trey sat strapped into his seat in the middle. Liana was positioned behind the passenger side. Just as Hannah started the engine, Rowan suddenly appeared, leaping into the passenger seat. Holding a jerry can filled with gasoline, he demanded that she start driving. Terrified, Hannah screamed at him to get out. She managed to drive only a short distance before stopping near a man who was outside washing his car. In desperation, she yelled for help. "Call the police. He's going to kill me. He's poured petrol on me." The man turned to see Rowan pinning Hannah down. preventing her from escaping. She fought to break free, but Rowan stayed disturbingly calm, maintaining full control. Then in a split second, Hannah broke free and stumbled out of the car, but it was too late. Rowan had already ignited the fuel. Fire swallowed the vehicle, and flames tore across her body. The man reacted instantly. Seeing her burning, he shouted for her to roll on the ground while he grabbed his hose to put out the fire. Once he managed to extinguish the flames on Hannah, he turned the water on Rowan, whose clothes had also caught alight. As the reality of what was happening hit, Hannah cried out about her children. "My kids, my kids." Understanding her words, the man rushed inside to call emergency services. When he returned, another passerby, Samantha, had arrived. She had seen thick black smoke while driving and had raced toward the scene. She took hold of the hose and continued fighting the flames. Samantha stayed by Hannah's side, comforting her while they waited for emergency crews to arrive. Racked with pain, Hannah kept pleading for news about her children.
She managed to tell police what happened when her estranged husband ambushed her on the morning school run. Senior Constable Angus Skanes took her statement, saying Rowan Baxter jumped into Hannah's car and said, "I want to see my children." Hannah told him to get out.
Hannah was incredibly courageous at the scene, given the level of her injuries, and it certainly affected everyone who attended the scene.
Hannah Clarke and her 3 children were killed in Camp Hill in February 2020. Her estranged husband setting the family alight in their car in what first responders have described as a chaotic scene.
Another neighbor, Kyrie Fernandez, heard Hannah's anguished screams the moment she noticed the burning vehicle. She immediately called for help and stayed on the phone with dispatchers as she watched the scene unfold. Moments later, the car burst into a massive fireball. Kyrie grabbed a fire extinguisher and ran toward the vehicle, desperately attempting to beat back the flames. The heat was so intense that the car began rolling backward, prompting bystanders to shout warnings for her to stay safe. Hannah, barely able to stay on her feet, cried out in overwhelming despair, "My kids." Investigators would later learn that Rowan had placed the fuel-filled jerry cans directly in front of Aaliyah's seat, ensuring the explosion ignited right where her feet had been. Although Rowan was not carrying any fuel himself, each of the children had fuel on them, and so did Hannah. He had poured it on all of them. As the blaze intensified, Rowan suddenly dove back into the burning car. For a brief moment, it looked like he might be attempting to rescue the children, but instead he grabbed something and leapt out again. A bystander quickly realized what Rowan had taken, a knife. Understanding the danger, he shouted a warning to Kyrie Fernandez, who was still trying to control the fire with the extinguisher. She stepped back as Rowan, now armed, prepared for his final act. Without pause, Rowan knelt down, placed the knife's tip against his chest, and threw himself onto it. He curled up on the ground and died soon afterward. The destruction Rowan caused could never be undone. In just one morning, he ended the lives of his 3 children, Aaliyah, Leanna, and Trey, and left Hannah with burns over nearly her entire body. Even as first responders reached the scene, Hannah could only think of her kids. She kept pleading, "Are they okay? Did someone get them out?" But the paramedics already knew the reality. The children were gone. There were no words that could lessen her suffering. Instead, they encouraged her to concentrate on her own survival. Aware she had only moments before she would lose consciousness, Hannah called her father. When Lloyd Clarke answered, he heard nothing but silence. He assumed it was an accidental call, maybe from one of the children, and ended the call. Only later did he discover the tragic meaning behind it. It had been Hannah unable to speak, making one last attempt to reach out to her dad. At 4:50 p.m. that same day, Hannah succumbed to her injuries. She was the last in her family to die. After Rowan's death, authorities found a chilling note on his phone. It read, "I'm finishing your game. I don't want to play anymore. You can't mess with someone's life like this and expect them to take it. I have told the kids that you love them. They will miss you, I'm sure." This note shows his mindset. He blamed Hannah for everything. He saw himself as the victim. He took no responsibility. Autopsy reports revealed the full horror of what had happened. Hannah died from multi-organ failure due to the severity of her burns. She had burns over 97% of her body. Aaliyah, only 6 years old, suffered burns over 100% of her body. Her blood showed toxic levels of carbon monoxide, but that was not what killed her. This meant she was still alive as the fire overtook her. She died from the burns while conscious. Leanna, only 4, died from a combination of severe burns, smoke inhalation, and other injuries caused by the blaze. Trey, barely 2, suffered the same tragic end. Rowan, who fatally stabbed himself in the heart, had no drugs or alcohol in his system. His brain showed no abnormalities, confirming that his horrific actions were not the result of a mental collapse, but a deliberate, calculated choice. He knew exactly what he was doing. The events of February 19, 2020 sent a wave of grief and outrage across Australia. For many, it revealed a painful reality: coercive control. The psychological and emotional abuse Rowan had inflicted on Hannah for years was still poorly recognized and often not treated as domestic violence. People focus on physical abuse, hitting, punching, but coercive control can be just as deadly. Isolating someone, controlling their money, monitoring their movements, threatening them, making them afraid. This is abuse, and it can lead to murder. On March 9, 2020, Hannah, Aaliyah, Leanna, and Trey were buried together in a single coffin, all 4 of them, a mother and her 3 children. Her brother, heartbroken and overwhelmed with grief, offered his final words: "I am so sorry I couldn't protect you." This case changed Australia. It led to calls for coercive control to be recognized as a crime. It highlighted the failures of the system. Rowan had violated the domestic violence order, and he was not arrested. He was walking free, buying gasoline, planning murder, and no one stopped him. Hannah had told people she was afraid. She had said he was going to kill her or the children, and the system failed to protect them. If this content moved you, shocked you, or made you think, please hit that subscribe button. We bring you new true crime documentaries every single week. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a case. Share this video to spread awareness about domestic violence and coercive control, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. How can we better protect victims of domestic violence? What warning signs should we watch for? Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please reach out for help. You are not alone.